Okay, this is the second lesson on this mini unit on number systems. And so I numbered it 9.2, 9A.2, and then I sort of put it in binary here just to make it interesting. That's 8 and 1 8, 0 4, 0 2s, and 1 1. 8 and 1 is 9, and then 10 in binary is 2. So you see the binary conversion. All of the practice you're going to do here is converting binary numbers to base 10 values, and you'll have a choice of base 10 values to compare your work. But you might notice that the set 1 is here, set 2 is below it. They've numbered the sets vertically, but I grabbed rows of sets to put on this paper so that we can have a space to put our table for our base 2 values for our binary place values. So let's use this. You'll reference this table for every one of these problems. So make a nice table. We know we're going to need 3 rows, one for the place values, one for the binary numbers, and one for the base 10 equivalent values. So if we think ahead, if you sort of look ahead, set number 7 has binary numbers that are 7 digits long, but I believe there's another set on this homework that has 8 digits in it, and so we need 8 place values. If you count the columns on your homework paper, you'll see that there are 24. I've got a bit more than that here to work with, but because I know you have 24 on yours, I'm going to make every place value 3 columns, and you should do the same on your paper. This is the 2 to the 0 or the 1's place. This is the 2 to the 1st power or the 2's place. This is in binary, the 4's place. This is the 8's place. This is the 16's place. The 32's. The 64's. The 128 place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's all you'll need. But and it seems like I should have spaced them more, but I know that on your paper you have 24 to work with, so I wanted that to be consistent. I'm going to use the magic of PowerPoint here to do something that you will not need to do on yours. See, on yours you have you make one table at the bottom of your paper and it'll be on every page, but on this one I need to think ahead here a little bit. And it didn't grab the ink for some strange reason. Maybe I didn't go big enough. Interesting. Oh, I see why. Plan B. I'm going to leave all this in here because maybe there's an idea in here that you could find useful in another context when you're doing things like this. Just copying and pasting that table because I know I'm going to need it when I do the part of the assignment video where you're checking your work. Alright, so back to this one, and I'm picking one at random. Let's just pick one that looks interesting, like 7D. Now here's what I think you should do. I think you should get a couple pennies, or get like 8 pennies, or they don't have to be pennies, but 8 coins of any type, or 8 little grains of rice, or 8 little things, any 8 little things you want. And then here's what you do. You take this binary number and you say, okay, I've got one of these. I'm going to put my little penny there. I'm going to put a penny here. Penny here, leave this empty, penny, I did it wrong. I should start from that's okay, there's something to be learned from that mistake I just made. Start from the right. Start from the right. How many 1's do I have? None. So don't put anything in the 1's place. Don't put anything in the 2's place, but put a penny in the 4's place. Don't put anything in the 8's place, but put pennies in the 16, 32, and 64. Do you see how that's 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0? Okay, because if you do that, then you can just, on scratch paper, because you can see there are lots of problems to do, but on scratch paper you go and do your, okay, I've got 64 and 32 and 16 and 4, and that's it. I've got a 64, a 32, a 16, and a 4. And when you add those up, you'll see that it's 52, 56, 116. And if you find 116 in these, among these 5 answer choices, then that will further, confirm your solution. And according to the instructions, we're writing a base 10 numeral. I would say find a base 10 numeral for each base 2 numeral. So for this binary number, we found the base 10 value 116. For each set of exercises, there is one extra answer. So the answer that we don't find will be the letter that we put in the box. And so actually I'm going to do all of set 7 so that it makes sense how this works. But we found 116, so I'm crossing off 116. And then I need to erase, but you won't need to erase if you're doing like I'm saying with the pennies. You can just take your pennies off the table and then reset for the next problem. The next problem, let me just start at the A. I've got 0 1s, 0 2s, 0 4s, 0 8s, 0 16s, 0 32s, but I do want to put a penny on the 64 place. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I put it in the right place. Unfortunately, a penny looks like a 0, but I'm trying to just mark it like I have one of those. So if I have 164 and nothing else, that must be 64 in base 10. And there's a 64 right there, so cross off the 64. For B, I can actually, since I see it's the same number of digits as A, I can just put an extra penny here because this number starts out 1, 1, and then I have all zeros, but I have a 1 in the ones place. So I have a 64 and a 32 and no 16s, no 8s, no 4s, no 2s, but I do have a 1. So that's 96 and 1 is 97. You see it right there, 97? Cross that off. This C is not enough like the last two for me to really, I think I'll just start fresh with my pennies, clear them off and start over again. And then I'll start from the rightmost place value, the ones place. And for C, I do have 1, 1. I'll mark that space. I have one of those. And then I do have 1, 2. I don't have any 4s, but I do have an 8. I don't have any 4s, so I'm not putting anything there. I do have an 8. And I do have a 16. Put a penny there. I don't have any 32s. I do have a 64. So I've got a 64 and 16 is 80. And 8 more is 88. And 3 more is 91. And so there's 91. You can, once you know what you have, which place values you have, you can add those up any way that you like, including using a calculator if you want. But when you look and see that, okay, I found all 4 of the values and the one that remains is this one, that tells you to put an L in the 7 box. Okay. I just realized what I wanted to say. You've got lots of practice, but once you, as much as it might seem like that took a long time, once you get the hang of it, you're just moving pennies around and adding up numbers. And the reason there are so many problems is you'll begin to internalize the different base 2 place values. This is a bit more challenging, but you read through that and use your table and you'll understand how to figure that out. And then this is quite a bit more challenging and optional. So if you do that one and you let me know that you got it right, you'll get extra credit. You'll know on tomorrow's Nearpod because I'll have a Nearpod for you to grade all of these problems. and report the grade to me on Friday. All right, thanks for watching.